tonight, at the end of the day.
I had to peel myself away from my pool today to come here.
That wasn't in there, so I
I kind of want to go back and smoke a cigar. And,
But you gotta have dinner.
yeah, well, I was going to have tequila for dinner, but
You need to
that was
speak.
kind of my plan.
I have to go.
No, sir.
Meetings at home. One night. I know. Now see, how many times I've been over there by myself, nobody else showed up, and then
I'm just gonna sell it
now
to you.
somebody's ready to go over, and I gotta go straight.
We're going to be starting the minute or the meeting in 1 minute.
I know.
Get as close as I can to the He's here now.
I gotta pay him for being spokesman or no? I pay him for being spokesman.
Put it that way. I didn't know you were
Story, Valerie.
Well, that's what I have to do, I guess.
All right, let's get the show on the road here. How are you?
Yes, for the year.
Did you get a call from the news?
That's kind of neat. I'll put it on the.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Winnebago County Board meeting. Tonight is Thursday, May 23rd, 2024. Before I start the call on Mr. Father McCarthy for the invocation and pledge of allegiance, I do want to make a couple announcements that our own Melinda Macias from the purchasing department's father has passed away recently, and also her brother just recently also passed away. But her father, Robert Bob Owen Jones, and her brother, which is, please say a prayer for her because she's going through a lot for what she's enduring currently with the loss of her brother and her father recently. It's got to be very traumatic and very hard for anybody. So when we do the invocation tonight, please keep her in your prayers and her brother and her father also. So the funeral will be this coming Thursday, May 30th, 2024, from 5 to 7 p.m. at Sunset Funeral Home and Memorial Gardens. And then Debbie Jarvis' father passed away also. His name is Larry Spate. He just recently passed away, so keep Debbie in your prayers and her family. And that visitation will be Saturday, May 25th at 10 a.m. at Emmanuel Lutheran Church in Belvedere, Illinois. You can check the obituaries if you want more information. So keep both of them in your prayers and their families. So now we'll call on Father McCarthy. Please stand.
Most Heavenly Father, on this Thursday evening, as we gather together to take care of the people's business, please continue to guide us and use our conscience when we vote and make various decisions. Please protect all the police officers, fire departments, and all of the city services, county services, and those first responders, and especially since Memorial Day is approaching this weekend, and like me every day, I'm so appreciative of our military, as we should honor them not just on Memorial Day weekend, but every day, as without them, we would not have our freedoms that we enjoy today. All this for Christ our Lord. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Mr. McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I'd like to thank Mr. McCarthy for recognizing the Memorial Day we have coming up. As most of you know, Memorial Day is very special to myself and my family. I would like to ask for a moment of silence just to reflect on all the men and women that have given the ultimate sacrifice protecting and defending our nation.
Very good. Please stand, everyone. Thank you. Mr. Thompson, are there any agenda announcements this evening?
No changes to the agenda, thank you.
Thank you. Clerk Gummow, can you please call the roll?
Thank you, Chairman. We will start with Mr. Salgado. Mr. Scroll.
Mr. Sweeney? Mr. Tassoni? Mr. Thompson? Mr. Webster? Mr. Arena? Mr. Booker? Mr. Butita? Mrs. Crosby? Ms. Fellers? Ms. Gorel? Mr. Guevara? Ms. Hansard? Mr. Hoffman? Mr. Lindmark? Mr. McCarthy? Mr. McDonald? Mr. Neighbors? Mr. Penny? Chairman, 17 board members present, 3 board members absent.
Thank you, Clerk Emma. We do have a quorum this evening. We have 2 speakers this evening under public participation. I'm going to read a short statement here first. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes. Speakers may not address zoning matters which are pending before the ZBA, Zoning Committee, or the County Board. Personnel matters or pending or threatened litigation may not be addressed in open session. An individual may speak a maximum of 3 times per calendar year on the same topic. This prohibition shall include the repetition of the same topic in a statement on what is purported to be a different topic. Personal attacks or inappropriate language of any sort will not be tolerated. So our first speaker is Mr. Daniel Swinford. Is Mr. Swinford in the audience? Not seen. Okay, we'll move on to Mr. Tom Walsh. If you want to come forward, Mr. Walsh.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and board members, for allowing me to speak to you tonight. My purpose in addressing the board is to introduce and explain the Grateful Nation Project and the Hero Card program, which was recently implemented at the Durand School. The Grateful Nation Project is a Wisconsin-based nonprofit veterans organization which develops hero cards with online biographies to honor the ultimate sacrifice made by U.S. military men and women who lost their lives while serving our country in any of our nation's conflicts, from the Revolutionary War up to the present day. I became aware of the Hero Card program through a friend of mine who's on the board of the 2nd Infantry Division Association with me. His name is Sam Rogers, and I'm thankful he told me about this. I also worked with the Durand American Legion Gold Star Post 676 and the Durand School to provide hero cards to each of the students in Mr. Bill Shepard's American History class. I brought along some examples of hero cards. They're similar to the baseball trading cards. There's a little biography of the veteran with a URL of a web page for the veteran where you find more information about his story and about things that were happening during the conflict where he lost his life. The students were given a week to research the hero, the circumstances surrounding their death, and other information about the conflict in which the veterans served, and then prepare a report on their veteran. 6 outstanding student reports were selected to be presented to the public by the students during the Memorial Day program at the Legion Hall, 211 State Street in Durand on May 25th, this Saturday at 7 p.m. We will be working with the Gold Star families in our area to have hero cards made for all the members of our community who gave their life in defense of our country. I mentioned Gold Star family. Maybe not all of you are familiar with the Blue Star and the Gold Star program It was very popular during World War II. Families whose members were serving in the military displayed a blue flag in their window, and if the veteran lost their life, they were given a gold star. This is a gold star that was given to my mother's family when the first of two of her brothers lost their lives in World War II.
Mr. Walsh, that was very nice. Your time is up.
Okay.
All right, thank you for coming in. Mr. Webster.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Tom, for coming and sharing that information to us there. Full disclosure, I've known Tom for a number of years. For those of you that don't recognize Tom, he's our former supervisor of assessments for Winnebago County. And he did a whale of a job there till he retired. Passed the torch to Tom. I knew Tom.
Yeah.
So I've known Tom, like I said, for a number of years. I'm proud to know Tom. Tom's a veteran himself. He served in Korea on at the DMZ. So he's got some experience to share with you as well if you ever care to talk to Tom about that. And so, my friend, Sergeant Tom, I will see you Saturday night.
Thank you, Mr. Webster. Mr. Penny?
Yeah, if you could, I appreciate the presentation. If you could leave a couple of those cards, if possible, I would love to have one of those to take a look at and explore a little bit further in detail.
Thank you, Mr. Penny. Mr. Tom?
I should add that if anybody's interested in nominating somebody for a hero card, all they need to do to find the information is Google Grateful Nation Project. And they'll be able to find their way to the application and all the other information about the program.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Tom. Very good. Next is the approval of minutes. May I entertain a motion to approve the April 25th and layover May 9th, 2024 minutes. We got a motion by Mr. Guevara, second by Mr. Thompson. Is there any discussion on the approval or the layover of the minutes? Hearing none, are there any board members opposed to the approval or the layover of the minutes? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. Next is the consent agenda, which includes the raffle report and the auditor's report. May I entertain a motion to approve? We have a motion by Mr. Webster and a second by Mr. Thompson. Is there any discussion on the raffle report or the auditor's report? No discussion. Are there any board members opposed to the raffle report or the auditor's report? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. Next is the appointments. Per county board rules, board chairman appointments require a 30-day layover unless there is a suspension of the rule. Tonight, we place up Kelsey Heaslop. That's a reappointment for the Seward Sanitary District, and there's no compensation for that. It is for a 3-year term. Next is the Zoning Board of Appeals. Annual compensation is $100 per meeting. Placing up Ernest Fear. That's a reappointment for a 5-year term, expiring May 2029. And the next is the Winburn Sioux Fire Protection District. Annual compensation is not to exceed $1,500 per year, plus 50% if ambulance service is needed. And that's for Guy Cunningham, and that is for a reappointment of a 3-year term. Next, we have reports of standing committees. Finance Committee. Any report from Finance Committee? No report for Finance Committee. Thank you. Next, Zoning Committee. Mr. Webster.
Thank you, Chairman. We met last night and for roughly 2 hours and had a lot of discussion, decided to lay it over. So the meeting is laid over till June 26th, as you will note on your new scorecard. Thank you for printing that out for us.
Thank you, Mr. Webster.
Oh,
Perfect. Thank you. All right, next, Economic Development Committee. Mr. Sweeney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Economic Development Committee has one resolution tonight, and that is a resolution authorizing a grant of up to $30,000 from host fees to Tadmore Sustainability Institute to assist with their sewing apprenticeship program, and I move for its adoption.
Moved by Mr. Sweeney and second by Mr. Penny. Is there any discussion, Mr. Sweeney?
I guess I would just add that, obviously I know that this was is a project near and dear to your heart. I believe you're a third generation Taylor, is that correct?
Correct.
So I know that this in particular is very important to you, and it's exciting to, I was surprised to learn about the level of demand in this industry that our community needs. So it's neat that you were able to put this together with the city of Rockford. So I certainly support it.
Thank you, Mr. Sweeney. Is there any other discussion? Mr. Penny?
Yeah, I do want to add, having been in the construction industry my entire life and knowing the value of apprenticeship and training programs in the construction industry, I'm really excited to see an apprenticeship program kind of evolve into other industries. And I definitely, I would say, commend whoever put this together and encourage others in different industries to look at ways to put together an apprenticeship program for those industries as well. But this is exciting to watch, and I hope it evolves into something great.
Thank you, Mr. Penny. I appreciate that. Mr. Lindmark, did you have your hand up? No? Any other discussion on this resolution this evening? Hearing none, are there any board members opposed to this resolution? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. Mr. Sweeney.
That concludes our report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sweeney. Next is Operation Administrative Committee, Mr. McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have 4 items this evening. The first is a resolution authorizing acceptance of credit cards by the Winnebago County Regional Planning and Economic Development Department and the Winnebago County Highway Department for permitting fees, and I so move.
Moved by Mr. McDonald, second by Mr. Webster. Any discussion, Mr. McDonald?
Not from me, sir. Thank you.
Any board member discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, are there any board members opposed to this resolution? Very good. Please cast yes for all members present. Mr. McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This item is tied to the first. It's a resolution awarding payment processing services to Auto Agent Data Solutions LLC, MusiPay, for the Winnebago County Regional Planning and Economic Development Department and the Winnebago County Highway Department, and I so move.
Moved by Mr. McDonald, seconded by Mr. McCarthy. Any discussion, Mr. McDonald?
Not from me, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Any board member discussion this evening on this resolution? Very good. Hearing none. Any board members opposed? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. Mr. McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our next item is a resolution awarding bid for joint painting services, and I so move.
Moved by Mr. McDonald, second by Mr. Penny. Any discussion, Mr. McDonald?
No, thank you.
Any board member discussion this evening on this resolution? Hearing none. Are there any board members opposed to this resolution? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. Mr. McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our final item is a resolution awarding bid for joint carpentry services, and I so move.
Moved by Mr. McDonald, second by Ms. Crosby. Is there any discussion, Mr. McDonald?
Not for me, thank you.
Board member discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, are there any board members opposed to this resolution? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. Mr. McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That concludes the report.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald. Next is Public Works Committee, Mr. Tassoni.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a few resolutions, one ordinance this evening. First item is resolution authorizing the appropriation of motor fuel tax funds for Phase 2 engineering services for improvements on East Riverside Boulevard from Material Avenue to Sage Drive, and I would so move.
Moved by Mr. Tassoni, and we have a second by Mr. Sweeney. Is there any discussion, Mr. Tassoni?
None, and I would like just add that if there's any questions, I would speak to them.
Very good. Any board member discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, are there any board members opposed to this resolution? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. Mr. Tassoni.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our next resolution is authorizing the appropriation of motor fuel tax funds for Phase 1 engineering services for Owen Center Road project. I would so move.
Moved by Mr. Tassoni. Is there a second? Mr. Webster seconds the motion. Any discussion, Mr. Tassoni?
None, no, thank you.
Any board member discussion this evening on this resolution? Very good. Are there any board members opposed to this resolution? Please cast yes for all members present. Mr. Tassoni.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our next resolution is authorizing the award of bid for resurfacing miscellaneous roads in Harlem Township. Just add that these are pass-through funds. I would so move that item.
Moved by Mr. Tassoni, second by Mr. Guevara. Is there any discussion, Mr. Tassoni?
None.
Board member discussion on this resolution? Very good. Are any board members opposed to this resolution? Very good. Please cast yes for all members present. Mr. Tassoni.
Thank you, Chairman. Next resolution is authorizing the award of bid for the Linden Road widening and resurfacing project, and I would move.
Moved by Mr. Tassoni, seconded by Mr. McCarthy. Any discussion, Mr. Tassoni?
None.
Board member discussion for this resolution? Hearing none. Are there any board members opposed to this resolution? Very good. Please cast yes for all members present. Mr. Tassoni.
Thank you, Chairman. Next is a resolution authorizing the award of bid for bulk rock salt, and I would so move.
Moved by Mr. Tassoni, a second by Mr. Huffman. Is there any discussion, Mr. Tassoni?
None.
Any board member discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, are there any board members opposed to the approval of this resolution? Very good. Please cast yes for all members present. Mr. Tassoni.
Thank you, Chairman. Next, a resolution authorizing an agreement with CES for professional land surveying services on Roscoe Road, and I would so move.
Moved by Mr. Tassoni, second by Mr. Lindmark. Is there any discussion, Mr. Tassoni?
None.
Any board member discussion? Very good. Any board members opposed to this resolution? Very good. Please cast yes for all members present. Mr. Tassoni.
Thank you, Chairman. Our next will be just read in for layover. It's an ordinance amending Chapter 50, Article 4, I believe, of the Winnebago County Code and adopting a surface water management. Like I said, read in only.
Thank you, Mr. Tassoni. That item is just read in this evening. Very good.
Thank you. That concludes the report.
Thank you, Mr. Tassoni. Up next is Public Safety and Judiciary Committee and Mr. Lindmark.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have two resolutions tonight. The first resolution is awarding inmate and detainee commissary banking and food services, and I so move.
Moved by Mr. Lindmark, second by Mr. Thompson. Any discussion, Mr. Lindmark?
Not from me.
Any board member discussion on this resolution? None. Are there any board members opposed to this resolution? Very good. Please cast the yes for all members present. Mr. Lindmark.
The second and final resolution is authorizing a 5-year agreement with Flock Group Incorporated for the deployment of license plate readers throughout Winnebago County, and I so move.
Moved by Mr. Lindmark, seconded by Mr. Booker. Is there any discussion, Mr. Lindmark?
Not on my end.
Any board member discussion on this resolution? Very good. Are any board members opposed to this resolution? Very good. Please cast a yes for all members present. Mr. Lindmark.
That concludes the report, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lindmark. Next is Legislative and Lobbying Committee, Mr. Salgado. Thank you, Mr. Salgado. Okay, next under unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business in front of the board this evening? Very good. Next is new business. Any new business? Nothing new? Very good. Announcements and communications. I'm sure Clerk Gummow has something new to say.
Thank you, Chairman. The items listed below were received as correspondence.
Very good. Thank you, Clerk. Any announcements, communications from board members? Mr. McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm probably not the only board member that has a flagpole. I'd just like to remind us the proper flag etiquette for Memorial Day is down at sunrise, and at noon you bring the flag back up on Monday.
Very good. Thank you for that reminder. Any other board member communications? Ms. Gorel.
Communications is a question. We signed up for the Memorial Day Parade. We'd like to know what time it starts, where we're supposed to meet. Haven't heard anything since we signed up for it.
Okay, I believe it starts at 9 o'clock. I'm not sure the exact location, but I can have you call tomorrow on that. I know it starts at 9 o'clock takeoff, but I'll get that information to you. Thank you. Any other board member communications? No, Mr. Webster's got his hand up. Motion to adjourn by Mr. Webster, second by Mr. Thompson. All in favor, say aye. Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Enjoy, brother.
Okay, man. See you
Enjoy
next
your time off, too. I hope you don't get called in.
Yeah, we'll see, hey, you gotta do it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that vote is coming again. Yeah, you too.